So both Martha and Lartoria, in my opinion, got like really, really good multi-core buffs. Now, while you can definitely use both of them for buster farming now, like especially Martha, because now she finally has a battery, I kind of think both of them, their best role is just going to be as sub DPS or wave clearers. Lartoria can do it far better because of like the buff she's providing to the people that you would use with her, aka Knights of the Round Table. While Martha is a lot more niche, and the way they buffed her, they wanted to make her more like Santa Martha. But yeah, let's start getting into it. First off, Martha, if you didn't know, she's the one that likes to introduce people to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. For her, this is Jesus and this is Christ. So Martha Ryder has for a while just been like, she's kind of been esports, but like even still, it was pretty much just her third skill that even made her desirable to pick in the first place. Now it actually does work a lot better for multi-core than you might even think. This base attack right here is the reason she is not a DPS on her own. Her base attack is only 8,000. Let me remind you that some of the highest 3 stars have attack of like 7,000, upwards of 7,000. So Martha is straight up being beaten by 3 stars. So if you're at that point already, you shouldn't really be committing to farming because it just means their damage is gonna be bad. Can she do it now? Yes. Should you be using her for farming? Only if you don't have any other options, and we're talking about an AoE Rider. There's Habitrot in the friend pool. Would I choose Habitrot or Martha for farming? Habitrot any day of the week, period. The only time it would be no is if it had something to do with Martha being a support, not a farmer. HP, 13k. This is actually what it's south of what some 5 stars have, but those 5 stars are at level 90 and Martha's at level 50. So she does have more HP than some 5 stars, but it's not to such a ludicrous degree that like she's gonna be outlasting a lot of them, because she's just not going to be able to kill them fast enough. That's the thing. If you kill something fast enough, it can't hit you. That's why FGO farming exists. It doesn't matter how low your HP is if the enemy isn't around to kill you, because things die when they're killed. MP charge 1.58. That number would be good if her hit counts were not horrendously bad. Like so bad that you can't, there is no face card refund with this character. In no conceivable way can this character ever be a crit DPS. Because also lacking another buster card for Buster Braid Chains. Now for the Buster card, you don't care about hit count, but for Quicken Arts being this bad on hit counts, if you're not critting, like she's basically only gonna get 1 MP. Which it honestly is why like her most recent skill buff actually makes a difference. Honestly, I'm really happy that like they kept their design team anyway. All right, so first skill, this is the buff, and this is also her 4th buff. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 3, and then 4. So technically speaking, this skill has not been buffed, but it kind of doesn't need to be buffed. On its cooldown, it does not need to be buffed. So what this skill originally was 100% debuff resistance for 3 turns in a vacuum and like a 2.5k heal. In a vacuum, that skill isn't bad at all. On a DPS where you need, like you're fighting someone with a whole lot of debuffs, this skill would be awesome because all of those debuffs would not even land. They would need well over a 200% chance to land, and Martha also has magic resistance to stack on top of it, so her magic resist is 120. the enemy would need they would need like a 200 something percent effect chance. Like the base chance would have to be like 200% to be able to like even land any of this on a unit like that. However, Martha, she's not really a DPS, and then she also has something else that makes having this on her a lot less valuable. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if they made this AoE, the debuff res, they made that AoE, the skill would be straight up broken, because then it's usable in CQs and farming, and especially against a dragon that's like spraying curses at you. Like, I know Ritra does not actually do that, but like Ritra is a cursed dragon. You would think having anti-dragon and can't get cursed would be a godsend, but yeah, no, that setup doesn't happen that often. But they didn't change anything about the normal effects, but they gave her a 30 battery and a 50% power mod, 2 dragons to the entire party. Now, there is a caveat to this, and no, that's the wrong Dobrinya. Okay, so Dobrinya, she also has this AoE dragon, but hers is only 30%. But Dobrinya also kind of is just a better farmer. So if you're going anti-dragon, Dobrinya would be a better single core farmer, because she is more selfish about the anti-dragon. Martha, this is entirely party-wide, and it's the equivalent to what Santa Martha would give for anti-divine. So really happy that she got this buff. This is definitely gonna bring Martha into like much more usability, and because of this battery, you can also use her for farming if you want to. I'm straight up gonna tell you the damage is not gonna look pretty, because Martha would only be double stacking a power mod against dragons. That's it. There is, if you look through our other skills, party heal and party cleanse. This is good, but that's not gonna help you in farming. Remove all one enemy's buffs and reduce their defense by 30%. I love this skill. I love this skill because of like, it's a first off 5-turn cooldown. Second off, full buff strip, not last buffs, all buffs, not even only defensive. If the buff can be removed, it's gone. And then defense down. So not only do you get rid of anything that's going to keep them alive, but you're also going to make sure they like take way more damage. And in MultiCore, this is what you want. You want someone that can like really support your party. Well, if they can clear a wave, awesome. If they can't, usually you're planning around that anyway. So we already talked about magic resist. This sucks that she has this, because her quick hard is dog shit, even though that she has this at such a high value. And divinity for tickle, power of Christ. She has Jesus's love flowing through her veins, as all Christians do. The blood of Christ flows through your veins and all that. I'm not that religious, chat. I'm sorry if you're offended by this, but this is FGO. I'm allowed to take pot shots at all religions. It is not just Christianity. It's just that Christianity just is the biggest target. She has anti-berserker. It is actually like really good if you wanted her for damage. That's actually really helpful, because a lot of these, I was about to say a lot of these, but there are some dragons that are berserkers. Not that many casters, but again, this is a power mod for the party. You're not restricted to what Martha is good against. You're restricted to whoever your other DPS is. So take this list, grain of salt. The best would be a saber or a archer. Yes, those are the most abundant. So you want saber for all these lancers and an archer for all these sabers that are dragon. MP. Oh, sorry, I didn't finish this. For multi-core, you're definitely gonna want this. You don't know if you're gonna have cooldown reduction. If Martha is your main DPS, you kind of don't need this that much. You'd much rather prefer this because you just start her from 50 and then you're able to MP turn 1 now. And that would fly even in multi-core. It's just not solo. It would not just be a solo core farming. Multi-core would also have that same setup, although depending on who your support is, you might not need that 50% starting charge because you have it as an AoE battery or something. So MP damages all enemies. This is what it used to be. Terrible. When they buffed it, they probably weren't thinking that good. They were not. This buff came, let's see how long ago. She hasn't been buffed in 7 years. That explains so much why her buffs suck. That really does explain why these buffs suck in comparison to this one. Don't be surprised if this gets buffed in the future and they make this defense down happen first while adding another effect. Because all it is her own Buster performance goes up by 20%. She can't do Buster Brave Chains, so she is definitely hurting from this. The other thing is it only lasts for 1 turn. There is no ramp up, so this is really streaming. She just wants to be multi-core and wave clear 1 wave, and then she is pretty much just a support after that. She really doesn't want to do farming. The defense down happens after damage. Truly unfortunate, because then you'd have 50% defense down just from the MP. Bond CE, 30% healing received while she's on the field. Again, this makes sense, but it doesn't really help her. In CQs, yes. In farming, no. But to be fair, like before and now, she pretty much was just a support anyway. Now she's a sub DPS, but she's still mostly a support. So Martha is free. You'll get her when you get her, and at the very least, the multi-core isn't bad. 60 out of 70. With this is not terrible. You kind of would use her similar to Santa Martha, except you don't need to worry about the MP. It's just if you get it out, all good. If you don't, at least you put a massive defense down on the enemy. All right, so yeah, not a bad permanent to invest in now. Before, definitely lackluster. Now you have a legitimate reason to do it. All right, peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.